Hey guys, my name is Tony. We're here in Michigan, and of course for Michiganders, you know that if you're going to bike, you have a limited amount of time during the year to do that, unless of course you're crazy. And for the rest of us, there's about 3 or 4 months. My family's been working for the last 6 or 8 months trying to find the right bikes so that we can have a good time this summer. Yesterday we hit jackpot. We came up on D&D Bikes in Berkeley. We've got 4 different locations. Amazing people, family owned, family operated. I cannot tell you what an awesome experience we've had. How awesome? We bought 3 bikes, a bike rack, and the accoutrements to go with it, and in large part because they gave us such a great deal and fabulous customer service. So today, we're here to talk about one of the reasons, because we got a new bike rack yesterday, as you can see, holding 2 of our 3 bikes. It's a lot of money invested in this. Me, very nervous driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour with 2 really nice bikes in the back of my car. So we had some struggles last night when we were trying to put the bikes onto the car. But again, one of the great reasons to be with somebody who's got such great customer service. We're here the next morning. They're 15 minutes away from the house. They're going to come out. They're going to show us how to take the bikes off, how to take the bike rack holder off, and then reinstall it properly. One of the things you want to definitely look for when you're buying a bike from a reputable bike dealer. We'll be back in a minute to tell you how to do that. So speaking of a family business, it's my understanding there's 7 kids, 4 girls. No, this is the way Don told me. There's 3 guys, names start with D.
Yes.
4 girls. Their last letter is A of their
Yes,
first name.
yeah.
Now, it is my understanding, because I've done some research,
Right.
that you were far and away the best looking and the most knowledgeable of the family.
I don't know about all that.
Well,
They all do a pretty good job, I'll tell you that.
That's cool.
So-
We're going to find out. So the first lesson Derek taught me today, and I'm going to tell you, I think this is probably the most crucial lesson of the entire day, is with these really good Thule bike racks that come with a locking system that keeps the bike in so people can't get it. Well, apparently you need the key to get to the locking system. I forgot mine today, so we were delayed by about an hour. But we have the key.
Yes.
So Derek's gonna take it from here. He's gonna walk us through the way the bikes are set up right now, which is the way I did it last night. He's gonna point out the mistakes I made. I'm happy to learn. I got no problems.
Absolutely.
Then, like I said, we're gonna take everything off and we're gonna start from scratch. Derek, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Tony came in today, and basically what I noticed firsthand is that these cables are all pretty loose, okay? The nice part about Thule is they do have a lifetime warranty on all their stuff, and it's professionally installed by D&D, same day service, which is great. So we got this key here, okay? This is gonna actually unlock this clip here, which this controls how tight you get these cables, okay? So this is the ratcheting system here. We can tighten these up just like that. And once we get those tight, you notice it's not gonna be moving at all. So the cool part about this locking system is that it's gonna lock this here. Nobody can mess with these cables. If they do happen to snip the cables, the rack's pretty much useless at that point. So now that that's tightened up, we can go on up to the other side here. Same thing here. And you notice in these tighten up pretty well over here too. So, all right. So just a couple clicks and it really does the trick. So that's good there. Okay. Other than that, the bikes do look pretty secure on this rack. This rack actually goes and locks the first bike in. So if you're only carrying one bike, obviously it does have to be on the outside to get the locking safety to work.
And so my understanding is,
Yes.
as we talked to your brother yesterday,
Mhm.
is that when this is in and this is locked,
Yes.
the bike is locked to the rack, so you can't take anything.
Yeah.
And as he said, even though there's not a lock on the second bike, you got to get to the first bike first, and that's
Exactly.
not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah,
So
the best part about this rack too is, like you said, it locks to the car, but
Right.
it also locks the bikes to the rack. So as you go up in price, with Thule, you get those special locking features, which is great. So
we take the bikes off now?
yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
I've done that more times than I like to think in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
So just a couple straps here. There's 3 straps on the Thule racks here. So one goes over your top tube. Now this bike is a female bike. So on this bike you do need a bike beam, which we do sell here, $39.99. And this basically creates that angle that you need to fit the rack into onto the bike.
And Derek, we had some concerns last night about
Yeah.
whether or not we had this on correctly. So once we get this bike off, can we also go over installing this on the bike?
Absolutely.
Because I know it comes on and off, but we
Yeah.
weren't sure if we had the right length.
Yeah, and these also have a lifetime warranty on them as well. So as you can see here, I mean, he had this pretty right here. So this is locking that down, and then this here is your anti-sway system. So this is actually going to create it so the bike doesn't sway back and forth on the rack, hitting hitting the car or the other bikes.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is another thing we thought. When I say we, I'm talking about the collective of myself and my daughter and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Not that they really share any of the blame for what happened. I'll take all the responsibility. We thought this needed to go directly up against this, but is that not correct, or is that ideal?
Well, you want to get it closer, as close as possible. So I mean, if you notice on this one, yeah, it's a little bit further away because of this bike beam.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But if you look at your dual sport, your 8.3 back here, it is pretty close to it. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. So
but it's okay that we didn't get it flush.
Yes.
Just because.
And actually, I just noticed another problem here, Tony.
Okay.
So right here, if you see this here, this is not supposed to be out, okay? This is not doing us any good here, okay? So this was actually, it's supposed to go up underneath here.
Yeah. So I'll confess that I pulled one of them off on accident.
Yeah.
I dropped the rack and one of the other ones came off.
Okay.
So maybe we put them on wrong, incorrectly.
Yep. So now that's back in there all the way. Properly.
Okay, great.
So yeah, we'll get this first bike off
All
here.
right, let's do that.
So this will just lift
Both
it in.
bikes, I will add, purchased from D&D in Berkeley last night.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
I think this is the D7 Electra ladies bike, correct?
Yes, that is the Electra Cruiser, and that is the 7D. Yeah.
7D.
All right. One of the few bikes that come with kickstands nowadays.
I actually did buy the Essentials kit last night, which got me a kickstand, a water bottle rack, and a water bottle. And I confess, as I said to your brother, that I felt a little dirty putting a kickstand on a mountain bike. Because when I was a kid, you would get ridiculed vehemently for that.
Yes.
And apparently that's not quite as uncool anymore.
It's not. No, it's not.
You hesitate a little. All right, let's move on.
So, I mean, the kickstand's great, though. For storage purposes, everything, it's great. All right, so there's that. So a nice part about this rack, too, is, yeah, it's kind of big when there's nothing on it here. It folds down, okay, which is great. So, you can always, pretty aerodynamic when you are taking it. Now that we have the bikes off, we're not dealing with a heavy load on there anymore, we can kind of adjust this rack a little bit more. So as I put pressure on here, you're going to see these cables loosen up.
Good. And let's talk about this, too, real briefly, if we can. This is it's a universal, or at least a multi-purpose rack.
Yeah.
It'll work on a wide range of cars. I think you mentioned you have a...
Yeah, I have a Chrysler 300.
And this is a Chrysler 200S.
Right.
And I know that in the instruction book there's a... I don't know, Josh, can you get in here? I don't know if the numbers will show. But there is a setting, a rotation dial setting, to tell you exactly where the... Well, we'll take it off and put it back on again.
Yeah,
all right, great.
So let's get those keys then.
Yeah, the keys.
Most important part here.
My kingdom for a key.
All right. So it's pretty...
So let's walk through that real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick and easy. So you'll just take this, you'll open this cover here. Here's this arrow here, so that's pointing in that direction at that cable. You'll just take this, loosen that up there. Now your rack's loose, okay? See how it just came right off of here? Not a problem at all.
Now, is this going to damage my car?
No. So these are all rubber coated. Yeah, they are, pretty high-end metal, but they are rubber coated, and it's not going to tear apart anything. Honestly, my car's a lease, and I have no problem putting it on my car, knowing that Thule's got a pretty good satisfaction guarantee, and their stuff's well made and designed.
So. I know here also there was a little trick where your brother slid it over to the corner.
Yes, yeah.
And then maybe twisted it, I think is what I did.
I got to do that same thing, on mine. All right. So this rack here, basically, it fits almost all sedans. I mean, spoilers are really the only time you come into an issue with it.
No, we didn't even have to open the trunk or close the trunk.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly. So this here is how you adjust this angle here. So we're at 7. That's probably where we're going to keep it. Okay. So it can go all the way up, so you can get it on the back of like an SUV, anything. So that's a 7 there. So I'll set this back up on here.
So this is basically how this unit comes out of the box.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that so you just set it down here on the bumper,
correct,
which is how it was originally installed.
Yes.
My mistake the first time around was that I put it up here by the license plate.
Yeah,
that's not going to
that
work.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you go into this license plate area, that's not where you're going to want it. The most support that this back hatch has is going to be up here. So we'll keep it right there. And then you just simply take this strap here, and I use this to kind of hold it for me, kind of take a lot of the weight off me.
When you say hold it for you, what does that mean? As you finish the adjustments?
Yeah. So like now this rack's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Now I can mess around with the ones on the bottom.
Okay, gotcha.
And we'll slide that into place there. And make sure too that once you get this all secured, that you kind of mess with this and you say, hey, if I push this in, is it going to go any further?
Right.
That way, because like when you pulled up today and we came out and helped you out, I noticed that the cables were loose.
Right.
That's probably a good reason why.
Right. And I'd like to think they weren't loose when we left
Yeah, exactly.
last night, but we were on I-75 for about 25 minutes doing 75 miles an hour. Now, with
Exactly.
that said, they held pretty tight.
Yeah, for sure. So now, you know, it's pretty tight, but you can still tell there's a little bit of play. So that's when you kind of push the rack against the car here.
Ah.
Okay. A little bit more adjustment there, and you're good.
So we've got the rack on the car. Now Derek is going to help us. He's going to show us the right way to put the bikes on.
Yes, yeah. So as we talked about, you know, you can kind of take these arms and put them down when the bike rack's not in use, okay? But when you lift these back up, you're gonna want them almost parallel with the ground, okay? So there's that there. Just make sure those are pretty even, okay? So now you got these 4 straps here. We're gonna put the first bike on, which was the dual sport, the 8.3 here. Now in smaller frames or in women's bikes, you will need that bike beam that we discussed in the first, but we'll get to that in a second. So this will slide all the way back. Now, right over here, you're gonna want this piece right up here. So this top tube, then the seat post, you want this to fit snugly against here, okay? The reason for that is now this will have tons of connection right here.
So we didn't have it that tight before, did we?
No, and this piece fell off. So you should be good now. That piece isn't
I
gonna
got
fall
you.
off.
It wasn't even connected?
No, it was not
Great.
connected. So
I'll take responsibility for that.
so now this strap, you can have it on this strap or this piece here.
Oh, and I noticed you've done a crossover. Is that because I think we had it just straight over? So
Yeah.
the crossover is going to be tighter.
So whichever way you think is going to get it tighter, you can
Okay,
do that.
okay.
And then here, you know, but sometimes not always across is the proper way. Like this one, I'm probably going to come right across here because it just feels like that'll be tighter for it.
And those, you know, when I did those straps, there's a lot of flex in them.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried for a little bit, except I remembered the magic words from your brother, lifetime guaranteed. So if they do, for some freaky reason, break, I'm covered.
Come on in, yeah.
Beautiful.
Come on
All
in.
right.
So, all right. So then there's that. Now,
Now, let me, just for a second, I know it was mentioned, and this
Yeah.
is maybe just a quirky thing, but he said something about putting the wheels so that this is at the center of the license plate?
yeah.
Or do you have another take?
No, that's definitely right. And when you do that as well, it's going to make it so the pedal is going to, you know, interlock
Okay.
with the other wheel as well.
Okay.
So, all right. So here's this here. So here's your bike beam. Okay. This could come down just a tad here. So this is a telescoping bike beam.
Can we take that off and show how
Yeah,
it goes on and how it goes
absolutely.
off?
Absolutely. So,
Now, I will say that, you know, we'd written a fairly sizable check,
yeah.
and the last thing we wanted to do is spend any more money,
Right.
but it made perfect sense. And I'm only saying that because if you go into a bike store and they're looking to get you into this beam, you're going to need it to put a woman's bike on. There's no way around it. No, and I will say too, your brother offered, he tried to start doing it without the beam, but the bottom line is you guys are so cool. We're like, look, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to spend the money on a bike, you definitely want it.
yeah, it's
mounted
not
to
an
the back
upsell
tire.
item is the point I'm trying to make.
Exactly. You know, it's a necessity for sure. So here's your telescoping bike beam. This is Sport Rack makes this one, which is also Thule brand.
Okay.
So here's there's on this one. These are the same. These are the same hooks here. This will just go right around your headset here, and then also around your seat post. Now they just lock right in with the little clip there. Okay. So now this telescopes out. Okay. You want to get that pretty tight, so that fits pretty perfect in there. Okay. And then this here, lift this guy up, kickstand up. That'll go right on there like that.
So this is one of the challenges we had yesterday, and I'm sure it's just about
Yeah.
kind of finagling it.
Yeah.
Was the whole contact between the tire and the handlebars.
Okay, on
Nice.
both ends here, yeah.
Okay, well now you worked that out better than we had it, that's for sure.
Okay, yeah, so, you know, you're gonna wanna get as close as possible to this anti-sway system. It's still going to work if you're not totally touching it, but it is great to get as close as possible.
But in this situation, because of the nature of the bikes that we have on here,
Exactly.
it's just not a perfect
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah, if you put two, you know, mountain bikes, 19-inch mountain bikes on there, it's gonna fit great.
Right.
But just the crazy electric style, you know, they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
a great job on their stuff.
Yeah.
So this here, we're just gonna get this as tight as possible. Actually, this one we are gonna cross. Okay. This one here, as tight as possible. And then the last step here is your anti-sway system. Okay? So that's not going anywhere there, okay? there's that. So now there should be one extra piece here. Yeah, this is your Thule strap. This comes with the Raceway. This is what we're going to use to bundle up the bikes. So we're going to take this and go through all 4 wheels if it'll fit. Shouldn't have a huge issue with it. Yeah, we do come up a little short here.
I think we did last night. I think we did this front tire and that back tire.
Gotcha.
I think that's the way it worked
Yeah,
out.
because those those aren't going to spin too much with the way we got these bikes wedged in here.
But when you say the tire's spinning, there's an issue with that, correct? You want to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah. You try to make sure the tires aren't spinning. You know, just it keeps everything a little bit more secure. Sometimes tires spinning super fast going on the road is just not always a good option. But here is, this kind of just takes your bikes. So the anti-sway piece, that's going to lock the bikes to the rack. You know, you're not going anywhere. This is just kind of an extra safety here. So it's just keeping those bikes bundled together to minimize as much movement as possible.
And Josh, you know that last night in our frenzy to get this taken care of, somebody locked that beautiful blue strap in the trunk, and with the bikes on it, I wasn't going back into the trunk. So we were able to use the good old-fashioned bungee cord. I understand that works as well, right?
Yeah, bungee cords definitely get the job done for sure.
So let's check the cords on his work. Let's make sure his cords aren't, you know, loose. Let's see. He's got it on. We're ready to go, right?
Yeah,
Theoretically, we could drive off.
Should be ready to go.
Look at this. Like a guitar string, this guy. The Eric Clapton, if you will, of bike mounting.
Yeah.
Derek, anything else you think we need to know?
No, I think that's it. I think it'll be fun. So.
Can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Again, that's D&D Bicycles and Hockey, right?
Yeah.
We're here in Waterford. There's a hockey arena behind us.
Yeah, there's
Stores
3.
in Brighton. Let's walk us through it.
Brighton, Northville, Berkeley, Westland, Waterford.
All right,
Thanks for
guys.
listening, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Derek.